Dave, this is the first time you've ever been able to pick the same starting 15 2 weeks in a row. What sort of a difference does that make in preparation and stability?
Oh, yeah, it helps. And it's good. It's good to reward the guys who played last week, and look, we've got the same enemy, and we can build on those combinations, which is nice. So, it's good to be able to pick the same 15.
And conversely, they've had mass changes, about 8. A lot of their best players are out. Does that give you more confidence you can go back to back?
The depth in the Springboks is phenomenal. They've made changes. I'd imagine some based on form and some based on injury, and we've been through that as well. You focus on who you got and you get on with it. And so, what we know, it's still a quality Springbok side, and there's a little bit of youth and energy included, and we're well aware of the threat that they pose.
And just last one from me, the Cannon Moody, the 19-year-old, he's tipped to have a bright future. Jake White reckons he'll play 100 tests. What do you know of him, and what do you think he's going to bring to the equation?
Well, hopefully very little. Our job is to shut down his space. He's, lightning, got great feet. So if we're kicking the ball to him, it needs to be contestable to eliminate those opportunities. So, we need to do a good job up front to put us in the right parts of the park to, again, take him out of the game. So, I've got so many threats across the park. So, we're aware of all of those. Key thing is getting our job done, and, our set piece, we've got a lot more in us there. If we can rectify that, it's going to give us a chance to play more territory, and we spent a big chunk of the game in our own half last week.
Just on that set piece, I think you lost 3 or 4 lineouts in that first half. Was there that temptation to bring in Dave Parecki to start for Flower Fango, or are you sort of happy with how he's been tracking?
Yeah, as you know, with lineouts, it's not just the hooker. The quality of a lift, the timing, the option that we call, and you're up against, probably the best defensive lineout in the world. So, we've come up with a plan around how we do that better. Hopefully you see that on Saturday.
And just on that one change coming off the bench with that scrum half position, you really kind of tinkered with Jake and Tate. Is there something in particular you're looking for from either half to really kind of cement their spot on the bench there?
Oh, look, I thought Tate was very good off the bench, so it's not based on form. And, what we've got is we've got 3 excellent 9s here. We're trying to keep them all in the mix, and obviously Whitey started everyone. The other guys have tag teamed it. So back in Sydney, Jake's hometown, and so we're excited that he's going to be in the mix this week.
Dave, spoke straight after the game about Nick White and the incident that he was involved with FAF. Have you spoken to him, or do you have any kind of looking back on reflection? Whether you're fine with what went down there, or whether you have any issues with that?
To be honest, we've moved on. What we know is it was a penalty, and rightly so. Probably wasn't a yellow card, and so that's all I got to say on
it. Were you happy with how you guys finished off last week, or was that kind of a major area of concern for you?
We're really disappointed with the impact we got off the bench. And it's not totally the bench, but a number of guys who came into the game and it was sewn up. And we had a real chance to put the foot on the throat and turn ball over, and were loose and then defended poorly late in the game. So, we've certainly addressed that. The expectation is that we get more out of those guys coming off the pine this week.
Have you issues around how Taniela is travelling at the moment, and do you, if you do, can you put your finger on what it might be, and can you from there also maybe talk about what the plan forward is, or what the plan of attack to bring him back to his best might be?
Yeah, positive line of questions today, Tony.
Sorry, Dave.
Look, he's no doubt. We need more out of him. He made an error early. He missed a tackle, and then he got penalised at a scrum. And you got to deal with those setbacks. And he's had a really good training week. He's well aware that we need more out of him. He's an important player to us, no doubt. So I expect to see a different creature on Saturday.
Well, just one more for me then. What's making you smile this week, Dave?
Not your questions, Tony. It's the interesting thing is that when you win, people think it's relief, and really, my thoughts 5 minutes after the game are how do we win next week, and so all the preparation and thinking is going into what our week needs to look like. How do we make sure that we create edge after a win, rather than being satisfied with that, and so. We've had a really good week of preparation. Nice to be working with the same group of guys, and we've certainly as a group of coaches, we've made sure that we've brought edge, and the leaders have done a great job around driving the expectations, and we know we're going to need to be better because we gave away a lot of penalties last week, and the Springboks weren't able to hurt us, especially in that second 20. About too good a side for us to give them that many opportunities again.
Thank you.
Hey, just back to Taniela. What's his, mental space like at the moment? Just because, as you say, he's not giving the impact we've become accustomed to from him. But also, it's been a really big year at a long injury layoff. Obviously, missed the back end of the super season. He's become a father for the first time, and he's, I'm sure, being in camp and not spending as much time with that would be tough for him as well. We know he's an energetic sort of guy, but is he a bit off personality-wise at the moment?
He's as good as I've seen him, to be honest, within the group. He's really happy, obviously a father, as you mentioned. And I reckon, when you have a kid, you've got more to play for. You become less selfish. I reckon guys that I've coached who have had children end up playing their best footy. So that's what we expect from Nella. He's in a really good space. We just need to see that on Saturdays. And, it's the last couple of outings haven't been as good as what we saw earlier in the year. So, I look like all players. We're asking for more. And especially when they get their chance to come off the bench, and it might only be 30 minutes, you've got to rip in and make the most of it.
Just on that edge, I think Scotty put it well yesterday or Tuesday when he said, when you come against the Springboks in the past couple of years, it's often been off a big loss that's really it's been a pretty obvious sort of motivation to find that edge. When you come to Sydney, you're coming now to a new stadium, first international event. Does that kind of help find that edge when you're coming off what was a pretty good win on the weekend?
Yeah, we were in this place last year where we beat the Springboks narrowly last minute with a penalty from Quaid, and we backed up really well, so we know we've done it before. And as I said, we know what's required. They're a high-quality side, and they'll be hurting. So, the fact that we're going to play at a new stadium is fantastic. It's going to be a really exciting venue, and phenomenal. I've been there a few weeks ago to have a look at it, and so we're looking forward to that. And if that's a motivating factor for our boys, great. But the fact that we're playing Test rugby at home in front of our family and friends, there's plenty of motivation there.
Hey Dave, just wondering how critical you think this match is in preparations for a Bledisloe on the horizon, and particularly what's going on across the ditch.
Yeah, I think every test is important. We want to get some momentum, and so that's why it's good to have continuity in selection. We've got ourselves in a reasonable position on the table, along with Argentina. So it's a big weekend for all teams in that comp, and we want to take confidence and momentum into that Bledisloe series. But our focus totally on South Africa at the moment.
Results have been a bit of a yo-yo with Wallabies teams in the past. From your experience with this group, what's the best way to nullify that inconsistency?
and where we've put ourselves under pressure is, not being clinical enough and not finishing opportunities or making errors and giving soft, possession or penalties away. So accuracy in all areas, and we know discipline's going to be massive, and so that's why we've got to really front from a set piece point of view to give us an opportunity to apply pressure to them. I thought we were very good with the ball in hand last week, clinical when we got our opportunities. We need to create more of those opportunities.